Hi, I'm Victor, and here's the build guide you've been waiting for. The video will be separated into two parts. The first half is about how to build the build, and the second half will be about how to play the build, something related to the play style and some tips and tricks with Dark Pact. Here I'm going to explain two questions before we start. The first question is why we are using Oshabi Bloodline with Unleash, and the second question is why we are not dying when we are using our life to cast. For the first question, why we're using Oshabi, is related to the nature of the Dark Pack. Dark Pack costs 12% of your maximum life to cast, right? To deal that much of damage to the enemy. And in the traditional approach, people will build cast speed so that you can use as much life as possible and as fast as possible. That in turns meaning that you are doing more damage. But for the traditional approach, in order to use all 100% of your life pool, you will actually have to build a lot of cast speed in order to get close to using all your life pool. Because the whole point of using all your life pool is that it means that you are not wasting any of your life pool during your fight. You can maximize the effectiveness of building over more life with your life pool. But now the Oshabi Bloodline provided us with a +3 to maximum number of seal. We are now able to get it up to 8 stack of seal from the Unleash support. What that does is that when we are pressing Dark Path for once, it will reoccur 8 times simultaneously. All 100% of our life pool can be used within a single cast. The damage overall per cast will be much higher in this case. So for the other questions, we are using 100% of our life to cast. So why we are still alive? That is the result of a unique jewel called Dissolution of the Flesh. If you already know about this, you can skip this part. You can see here when we are taking damage, our damage will reserve our life instead of damaging our life pool. All the reservation of our life from damage will be gone after 2 seconds of not taking damage. We will now no longer die from the life pool reaching 0, but we now have to find a way to recover all those life from the life pool so that we can cast another time. That comes to the Eternal Youth Keystone, which allowed our life to recover like energy shield. Our life will recover after we are not taking any damage for a certain amount of time. The life cost from using Dark Pact doesn't count as light damaging to you. That means that our life will continuously to recover even we are using Dark Pact at the moment. For my setup, I got it up to like 80% of life recovery over a second. That's basically 20k life regen in our build. The core idea of our build is basically spending all our life to deal damage and then recovering a bunch of life. Starting with the gear, there's 3 pieces of unit that is quite irreplaceable in our build. That's the shield, the amulet, and the chest. For the shield is quite self-explanatory. We are a life build, we are stacking a bunch of life, we are using spells. This will always be the best in slot items for it. For the amulet, it's quite self-explanatory. You can ignore the corruptor mod here. It provided us with a bunch of maximum life based on how many MTO red shortcut you got on your gear. I got 14 of those. It provided me with something like 670 something maximum life to our build. That's actually another mirror tier replacement for the amulet, but I do not recommend you doing it because it's so fucking expensive. Someone would use a simplex amulet, or I don't remember what the other one's called, but I don't know which one they used. But with something like simplex amulet, you can get a bunch of life that's similar to this amulet, but you can also get a bunch of critical strike multiplier on top of that. But I do not know how much it costs to craft them. I do not recommend doing it. For the chest piece, you can also ignore the corruptor mod there. It allows us to turn those energy shield from our armor pieces, that is the helmet, the glove, the boots, and also the shield, and turn all those energy shield into flat life to our build. For our weapon, I do believe that this is the best in slot item. Someone else would use a wand to replace it with something like plus level of spell to it, and also some cast speed and critical strike chance. But for our build with this shield equipped, we do not need more critical strike chance. the nature of Dark Pact also means that the level to it doesn't really matter, because most of the damage come from how many life you got. And also we are not a traditional approach to Dark Pact. We do not need that much of cast speed. For our helmet, our glove, and our boots is basically the same idea. You want life, you want energy shield for your prefix as much as possible, of course, and then you would be looking for the increased energy shield recharge rate in the suffix, because that together with all these energy shield recharge rate increase, we got our life recharge up to 21k here. For all the remaining suffix of our build, for all the rare items, you will be looking for attribute and resistance. Speaking of attribute, remember that intelligence does nothing to us. We don't have mana, we don't have energy shield, and for all those intelligence in my gear, it allowed me to use a bunch of like tattoo to our passive skill tree. You can get like chaos rest and also something like lightning rest, and also you can get a tattoo like this to consume corpse to recover percentage of your life. Regarding the range slot, I'm using this one so that I can target the enemy away from my screen. I don't have to like stand near them to damage them. Another very important part of the range is the implicit. You actually need to get a cannot be poison or cannot be bleed here, because for our build we are vulnerable to damage over time. That is ignite, that is poison, bleed, corrupted blood, and burning ground. We got a solution for every single one of them. To start with, you will need to get a ring with a cannot be poison or cannot be bleed. If you got cannot be poison here like I do, you need to get cannot chance to avoid bleeding here from the crafted suffix and also the Eat of World implicit. For the ignite, you need to get chance to avoid it. You got 30% here. You can get up to like 50% of avoid being ignite here in the abyssal drill. And for the boots, for the Searing Exile implicit, you can also get another 30% to avoid being ignite here. In total, you'll get over 100%. For Burning Ground, you can simply go for the Pantheon here with this one. You can be unaffected by Burning Ground. For Corrupted Blood, you can always use a drill with a Corrupted Blood cannot be inflicted on you. This one is the one I use. It also provided me with reduced effect of chill. Combined with the Pantheon here with reduced effect of chill, I'm also immune to chill effects. Of course, for the Pantheon, you will also get the avoid being fusion from here. For the rank, you do not have to get a synthesized items like I do here. The whole reason I use a synthesized item is, first of all, I got it for 9C. It's very cheap, and it provided me with an extra +1 to our maximum life. That's good. For the rest of the mod, of course, you want maximum life in your ring, and you want some like attribute and like resistance, whatever you need. For the crafting mod, you can get a +1 to minimum frenzy charge so that you can have some extra cast speed and extra damage. For the belt, it's basically the same thing. You want life, you want resistance, you want attribute. For the increased maximum of life here, I got an Elder Influenced version. You can get a Hunter's version. If you wanted to craft it, just buy one with a empty prefix and a T1 life. With a Hunter Exalt, you have something like 36% or 18% chance to get the mod of increased maximum life, but bear in mind that you will have to like fill up all your suffix so that your Hunter Exile would not add a suffix mod here. For the flask, based on my personal experience, none of those defensive flasks will do a lot to you, so don't bother getting a defensive one. Just choose whatever you like. I got a Quicksilver flask for the movement speed, got a Silver flask for the onslaught. And the only very important one here that you have to get it is this Rich Fire Brew. It provided us with a level 31 Despair Curse aura so that we can empty one more rest socket here in our gear to get a extra 48 flat life here. For Graft, you'll definitely go for those increased maximum life. You can get up to 15% increase in maximum life here. For one of the Graft, you have to get a hardening Graft for the skill it uses. When we are on low life, it will provide us with a second of more life recovery rate, and also will provide us with an endurance charge. The effect will look like this. I got extra life recovery from the buff, and I got an extra endurance charge. For every time I reach low life, it will provide me with that buff. Now coming to the skill gem, starting with the aura we choose. We use Saturday here with an Eternal Blessing support. Because we spec into the Blood Magic Keystone, we got no mana, but we got 10% more maximum life. In this case, we don't want to reserve life, we have to use the Eternal Blessing support for it. For Wither instead, we're using it for Wither. Of course, we can inflict 9 stack of Wither on enemy with a single click. Because that Wither step also share cooldown with other blink skill. The only other blink skill that we can use here for movement and for escaping is Flame Dash, because it got 3 cooldown in total. Even though Withering Step is using one of them, you can still have a cooldown to use for blink in emergency. One important thing about Dark Pact is do not use a quality one. The quality provided us with more life. We will sacrifice each cast to deal more damage, but it doesn't work well with the Oshabi Bloodline, because the Oshabi Bloodline provides us with 5% more damage each time the effect will occur. You can check the spreadsheet here for the life sacrificed with a 20% quality Dark Pact. We will reach over 100% of life sacrificed with only 8 of the reoccurring, and with a single quality one, we can get the full benefit from the Oshabi Bloodline. We can reach over 100% of life sacrificed with all 9 reoccurring, including the original hit, of course. And in this case, although we got a bunch of life recovery, we might be able to get away with over 100% of life sacrificed, but there will be some situation where you got hit by a monster and your life charge isn't recharging, and in this case, the more life sacrificed with your skill will cause you to deal significantly less damage than usual. Now coming to the tree, let's start with the Ascendancy, the Occultist. Nothing special here. You want Power Charge, you want the Chaos set here, and of course you got your Oshabi Bloodline. Starting with our cluster jewel, there's a reason why we path our tree like this. That is to get as much jewel socket as possible, especially all those 3 large cluster jewel socket, so that we can have 3 set of Salamander here. With 3 Salamander, you can get a total of 90% increased seal gain frequency, and you can get another 20% from the Oshabi Bloodline. For the other nooks, go look for a Mage Hunter one. This is the best in slot one. You get some block chance and some spell damage for it. If you cannot get this combination, because this combination is quite rare and might be quite expensive, you can get whatever you like. The most important one will be the Salamander one. Aside from the 3 cluster socket, another 2 keystone also fixed our pathing of the tree. You would like to get Eternal Youth, of course, that's the core keystone of our build. Another one is the Blood Magic for the 10% more maximum life. Based on our pathing to the tree, you can basically get all 6 life mastery. In this way, you can benefit from the 10% more maximum life here, from the life mastery. And of course, we are Occultists, we need all those 3 power charge from the tree. You will also want to spec into this to get that Unleash +1 maximum number of seal from the caster mastery. Remember the spreadsheet I showed you earlier? Some of those recurring of your Dark Pact will benefit from the more spell damage when you are low life, because you are spending your life to cast them. It's quite hard for us to calculate the effectiveness of this keystone, because not every recurring happen during when you are low life. I didn't check the box for low life in POE because I know that it's not reliable, but it's definitely a damage increase to you. Another reason why that will be unreliable is that we also spec into a Runecraft of the River. Remember, you are spending your life to cast. Your life pool is basically your mana pool, it's just red in color. With the help of that Runecraft, it can greatly reduce the chance that when you are spamming all your seal on one enemy and you reach low life, but the moment when you reach low life, you got hit by an enemy and your life stopped recharging. In this case, you are basically out of mana. It will occur every now and then, and for those situations you will have to run for it. But with the help of that runecraft, you can actually reduce the chance of that happening. But also that will in turn reduce the effectiveness of your low life 30% more damage, of course. You can choose over one for the others, but if you got the nukes for it, just spec into both of them because you will get enough damage after all. For the tattoo, I've explained it earlier. Intelligence does nothing to us, so try to use every single one of them as possible so that you can have a easier time building your character. I'll now start to talk about the unique jewel we used in our tree. For the Militant Faith, look for one with Dominus. Of course, you want the Inner Convictions. For the other two, you can just get whatever you like, but I choose the All Elemental Resistant here and the Inquisitor Effect of Non-Curse Aura here. Remember to choose one that won't affect any of your existing like nukes here, because that will not be good for you if it changed your life and if it changed your power charge. Another unique jewel we used is the Foulborn Direct Gem. Because of the highlighted modifier here, it now provides me with extra life based on the fire rest in the tree, in the radius, and also some all elemental resistance will also grant us more life. For those strength note, I tattooed it into fire resistant, so it now provides me with 6 fire resistant and also 4% of increased life. This unique jewel provided me with 22% of maximum life in this socket. The last unique jewel I used is the Adorned. It basically increased the effect of all my jewels socketed in the passive skill tree. I got 8 of them. As long as they are corrupted and they are magic, the effect of them will all times 1.87, because I got an 87% increase roll with the Adorn. You will want at least 72% increase effect for the Adorn, because the most important line here is the increased maximum effect, right? Then for increased maximum effect, if you got an 1.72% roll with the Adorn, you will get 12% of maximum life out of each of these magical jewel. And if you got it up to 86%, then you will get a 13% of maximum life increase per this jewel. But if you are able to get an 87 one will be the best, because for the critical strike multiplier, we can get it up to 15% per jewel, and for 15% per jewel, the first hole will be like 1.87 to reach 28% of critical strike multiplier for our spell damage. If you got an 86 one, you can not go past the first hole here. But of course, if you are extremely rich, you can always get a 100% increase effect of jewel socket. Then in that case, I got nothing to say. In this half of the video, I'm going to talk about the leveling of the build and some playstyle related issue, and also provide you with some variation that you might want to do with this build. I'm going to tell you what I did with my list start, but I'm not recommend you to follow me. I'm only offering the information for you that you might be able to do it. I actually recommend you to find another list starter from other content creator, maybe an environmentalist wander, to get enough gear, enough upgrade, so that you can transition into Dark Pact more easily. On day 1, I played it as an Occultist and used Power Siphon as the main skill. It all felt great. I obliterated the campaign, and also I actually hit red maps before I decided to switch to Dark Pact. But that in general didn't end well. It's very good against mapping, it's very good against Hiveborn encounter. I actually clear a lot with Power Siphon at this point, but I'm still hitting that wall against bosses. I simply do not have enough damage to do them. I can't even kill the Crest Eater and Crest Exalt. That's the point where I decided, fuck it, I'm going to like spend all my money and try to transition to Dark Pact. On day 3 of the lead, I switched to Dark Pact. I got a boss carry to kill Oshabi for me for 30C, and I got these unique so that I can keep my Dark Pact running at least. It's not much damage at this point. I only got 10k life here, but at this moment, with all these pieces of gear, I'm able to like do many content that allow me to push my character forward. On day 3, I still cannot get enough like immunity to things. I'm using 2 potions to get immunity to bleed and immunity to poison, and I also got purity of element at this point to like immune to everything. But later on, I managed to get rid of it by upgrading my gear. On day 4, I get enough money for my chest piece, and here's when I'm starting to switch my gear for some like high life, high energy shield armor pieces here, and here. Up to this point, I'm still using a bunch of rare jewels and only 2 large cluster, but I'm still continuously monitoring the market for some base that I can later on use it to craft my jewels for the Adorn. On day 5 of the lead, I'm still not having enough money to buy a Adorn, but I started to change some of my jewel into magic and corrupted ones so that I can later on switch better into the Adorn setup. On day 5, I'm starting to get enough like immunity things related gear. That's why I'm starting to change my flask here, and I no longer use the purity of element here. And then on day 6, I finally got my Dawn for like 18 defines at that moment. And everything's starting to go well past this point. There's nothing changed later on that's major enough for me to tell you. But that's it. That's how I level up my character, how I progress through every piece of gear here. That's something related to the playstyle of the build. I did tell you that you have to get one with cannot be poison or cannot be bleed, but to be frank, you kind of doesn't need those on this piece of unique. The reason why I choose this piece of unique is for the sake that it fit my playstyle. I'm allowed to target things off screen. But if you are the kind of person that like the Nova exploding around you, you can definitely choose to like replace this ring with some other unique or some other just rare rings with the corrupted mode of cannot be poison and cannot be bleed. But both of the playstyle will have some monster that we will be extra vulnerable to. Some with my setup, I'm vulnerable to those things that suddenly attack you from underground. At that point, I have to retarget my skill underneath me to kill them for me. I suffer quite a bit from it. Sometimes some mob will victor strike to me, and I have to react to it so that I'm safe. I might film dash away or whatever. But if you are doing like this, you are extra vulnerable to those projectile impact because those mob with ranged attack, you will have to walk up to it or even film dash to it to kill it. That really depends on your own playstyle with the build. Although my build is already like clearing everything, doing all the opals, and some of you with enough dedication might want to like push it even further and further. But up to this point, I think that what can be a potential upgrade for my build is just simply a Mage Blood, a 100% Adorn. I do not recommend getting it. It's just not that different. And also, you might switch the flask for one with Cyrus that will like that will explode things during the effects. And there's another golden flask unique from the like incarnation of dread or something. That one is also good for our build, but as I said, it's quite expensive for those upgrade. That's not really necessary, but you can always go for it if you got the money for it and dedication for it. There's one last important things I have to tell you before you start. That is, I do not recommend you to start with it because you need quite a lot of gear in order to feel good. I recommend people to play it with a second character, or you generally know what you're doing here. And I got this comment for the showcase video for all of you, and it's in Russian. I translated it into English. It enlightened me to like do this part of the video. I have the responsibility to warn you before you try anything, because I don't know if it's translated correctly, but that is indeed something that you can't actually get or just simply very overpriced it. That's one of the difficulty of building the build, and especially in this start where things that aren't popping up that much. But I would also say that that's also the fun of the building the build, and I would not agree that the build is just simply a gas cannon. This is a common problem with Dissolution of the Flesh. You have to adapt to the playstyle. That is, for every now and then you have to find safety windows for your life to for your reserved life to recover from it. And after I have adapted to it and changed my playstyle, and I know what mobs is more dangerous to me, and I know when to be like running for my life, actually running for my life. But I will actually warn you before you like to try for the build. The build is not immortal. You can still die every now and then. Maybe because I'm a softcore player, I'm more open to it. But if you can't take a single death, do not play this build. I warn you. I will always be here to support any of you who tried it, the build and got problem with it. I will always here to help, but bear in mind that the build isn't perfect. It will never be perfect. If you got if you're not having fun, just simply don't play it. Go play something else. That's all I got for you. I hope that you can enjoy my build and enjoy this league, and remember to try this on with cautions, and maybe consider subscribing, my friend.